Today I'm covering the service-oriented design. The first phase, what we have seen in previous video. So the part first we have covered. So second part of this service-oriented design, compose SOA phase. Today I'm covering this part two of this compose SOA phase. So generally this compose SOA phase is the first phase of service oriented design. And as the name suggests, compose means what? Integration. So in in different strategies are again used for developing the web services and web API. And with the help of the strategies, we decompose the business process into small business logic called services or web API. And these web API and web services are afterward combined together, integrated, and to form a composition. So composition of SOA phase. So this step one. Generally in composition phase, we are combining, integrating the web services, and this integration is based on fulfilling the end user requirement. So business services are again developed to fulfill the end user requirement. And for that, we are developing the web services. And while developing the web services, generally the open standards are again preferred. And open standard covers, the web services covers the open standard, which is XML. So XML is used, the common shared technology. Uh, with the help of XML, with the help of first generation web service specification. So first generation, the web services developed with the help of SOAP protocol. And different extensions are also applied on the development of the web services. And these different extensions are again represented with the help of WS star. So that star represent that we are applying multiple web service specification on the service candidate, web service candidate. We are identifying the web services that is called as web service candidates, and afterward the web service specifications are again applied on the web service candidates. So in the previous lecture, we have seen that the web service design process is again divided into 5 steps, and these 5 steps are compose service oriented architecture. What we are covering that. So composing SOA, then designing entity centric business service, design application services, then design the task centric business service, and the design service oriented business process. So today we are covering the part 2 of compose SOA. So the compose SOA is again further divided into 3 different steps. The step 1 is choose service layer. We are identifying the service candidate, and after identifying the service candidate or choosing the service layer, the next thing is position core standard. So using the XML, WSDL, UDDI, during the development of web services, and then applying the web service specification and different web service characteristics on the web services. So choosing the service oriented architecture extensions. So these are the 3 steps. So let us see one by one the uh, detailed step used in service oriented compose SOA. So compose SOA, the first step which is used in designing, the compose SOA is again divided into 3 steps, and the first step is choose service layer. So in the analysis phase, we have identified different candidate services, and here in designing phases, we are identifying the design requirement which is used for these candidate services. So logic representation, then design configuration. So we are covering that in first step, which is choosing the service layer. So in analysis phase, we have seen that this timesheet submission process service is again divided into two different approaches are again preferred by the service architect for designing the web services. They may prefer the task-centric approach or entity-centric approach for identifying the candidate services. And in that timesheet submission process, we have identified total 11 candidate services. And these 11 candidate services are as follows: the get recorded hours for customer and date and range, then get billed hours for customer and date and range, then compare the recorded hours with billed hours, then get overtime hours for the date range, get authorization in case of if the overtime hours is again considered, then get the authorization. Then next is get weekly hour limits for every employee. The weekly hour limit is again assigned by the clerk, and that recorded hours are again compared with the weekly hour limits. Then compare weekly hours limit with the hours recorded. And the last one is get the customer. So this is what accepting the timesheet. If the timesheet is rejected, then the three tasks are again identified. Candidate services are again identified. The update employee history, then send message to the employee and send message to the manager. So in the first phase, what we have seen that the first phase is the choosing the service layers. Uh, so in analysis phases, we have identified the service candidate. And again, after identifying the service layer or service candidate, the next thing is position core standard. So second phase. So second phase is position core standard. Generally, whenever we are identifying the business services, web services, or candidate services, then the next thing is the core SOA standards are again provided by the service-oriented architecture is the XML and web service specification. So XML is used, open standard is used for developing the web services. Generally, with the help of XML request and XML response, we are comparing, means we are communicating with two different devices, computers, with the help of web services, and web services, the request is sent through the XML. So web service specifications. So we are covering different web service specification and how to apply these web service specification, how to choose the web service specification for a identified candidate services. Again, we are applying principles and characteristics which is unique to SOA on the service candidates. So generally different industry standards are again applied while developing the service oriented architecture. So while developing the web services, while we have already identified the candidate services, and we are applying these four different industry standard. So whenever the web service is again designed, the WSDL document is automatically created. And in the olden days, the WSDL document is again written by the developers. Then XML schema document. So XML schema definition document is again used as an input for the WSDL document. Also, this XML schema document is used as an input for the SOAP based service. So SOAP covers the input, takes the input from XML schema document as well as the WSDL document. Again, whenever the WSDL is ready, then the WSDL entry is made in the UDDI. So UDDI discovers the WSDLs, and that UDDI is assigned using the SOAP. So UDDI, WSDL, XML schema, SOA, these are the industry standards used in developing the service-oriented architecture or applications. So position core standard. So the web service specifications are again applied on the identified service candidate. So we have identified 11 service candidate. After identifying the service candidate, you apply this web service specification on each web service candidate. So the specifications are addressing, reliable messaging, policy framework, metadata exchange, web service security, web service notification framework, and web service eventing. So addressing, so identify the message exchange pattern for each and every candidate service. Then identify the reliable messaging characteristics for the identified candidate service, policy framework, metadata exchange. The purpose of web services generally used for exchanging the data between the organizations. Again, web service security is again applied. So encryption, digital signature, secured socket layer. So we are applying different security features on each and every service candidate. Notification framework, eventing. So these are the different web service specifications are again applied on each and every candidate service what we have identified. So total 11 candidate service we have identified, which is related with timesheet submission process. And different principle and characteristics are again applied on the candidate service. So loose coupling, so services are again divided, decomposed with the help of this loose coupling. So loosely coupled with each other, you can separate the web services, you can combine the web services as per the requirement. Then composability, combining the web services. Then interoperability, the web services developed in different technologies, and these web services are again called using different technologies. So interoperability features, reusability features, extensibility features, vendor diversity, discoverability. So WSDL is discoverable document. Quality of service is again provided. So different service oriented principle and characteristics are again applied on the candidate service. So out of this different service specification, what we have identified in step number 2, position core standard. So web service specification. So choosing the web service, choosing the web service extensions is again the part of the third step. So third step is used for choosing the SOA extensions. So different SOA extensions what we have seen, and out of these different SOA extensions, we are identifying the few service extensions based on each and every candidate service requirement. So total 11 candidate service we have identified, and we are applying different SOA extensions on these 11 services. So this is a part of pre-service design process. So we are designing pre-service design process. So involved identifying the web services, then applying the web service extensions, and fulfilling the different service oriented characteristics. So the step number 3 is highlights the choosing the SOA extensions which are applicable on candidate services. So this is what the step number 1, which is further decomposed into choosing the service layers. Then second step is position core standard, and third is choose service extension. So in this way, we have covered the first phase of service oriented design, which is compose SOA. So today I am covering this much only. Thank you.